Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhavatu Me Bho Rama Mamuddhara Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastvanirakaranam me astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishatsu Dharmaha Te mayi santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. In the last session we had seen the Mula Mantras of third section. It was a story, an Akhyayika, where Devatas are celebrating after their victory over Asuras and bragging about themselves, how they did, what they did, so many other things. There is a quote which says, "Success has many fathers, failure remains an orphan." Whenever things are good, many people are there to claim the credit for it. When things don't go the way we want, that is when everything is left behind. So Devatas, they were very proud of their victory. And Bhagavan noticed this. And he comes in the form of a Yaksha, a very bright, effulgent being. Yaksha there doesn't mean Yaksha Yoni. Yaksha Yoni, how you have Pitrus, like that you have Yakshas. So it is not another form of human body called as Yaksha. Who is the king of Yaksha? Kubera. So it is not in lineage of Kubera Bhagavan was born. Yaksha meaning there is an effulgent being, very worshipful, one whose presence you cannot ignore. So Devatas, although they were so indulgent in their celebration, they could not ignore the presence of Bhagavan. Then they send Agni Devata, they send Vayu Devata. Bhagavan puts a blade, they are unable to blow it. Then he comes back, Indra Bhagavan goes, and Haimavati Uma, she takes avatara. This is her Guru avatara. The teaching of Brahma Vidya she gives to this Devatas. Now Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, in his infinite patience and compassion, writes Bhasya even on these mantras. Really speaking, these are Akhyayika mantras. Akhyayika means it's a story. So you can just say, okay, the meaning is clear. You don't have to dive deeper into it. But Bhagavan has written commentary in Vakya Bhashya also and in Pada Bhashya also. So let us try to see what is the deeper meaning of these Akhyayika mantras. This is section 3, the introduction to Akhyayika. Brahmaha Devebhyo vijigye avijñātaṃ vijānatāṃ vijñātaṃ avijñānatāṃ ityādi shravanāt yadasti tad vijñātaṃ pramānaihi yannāsti tat avijñātaṃ shashavishāna kalpam atyantam eva asadrushtam tathedam brahma avijñātatvat asadeveti mandabuddhīnām vyamohaha ma bhutiti tadartheyam Akhyayika arabhyata brahma devebhyo vijigye. Left to us, would we even imagine that this Akhyayika has something to do with this mantra avijñātaṃ vijānatāṃ? This mantra came before, where it was said, one who does not know knows it. Avijñātaṃ vijānatāṃ, vijñātaṃ avijānatāṃ. The one who says, I know, that person does not know it. Now, what is the connection between that mantra and this Akhyayika? Bhagavan says, if somebody has heard that mantra, avijñātaṃ vijānatāṃ, vijñātaṃ avijānatāṃ, ityādi shravanāt, they might end up in an erroneous understanding. What is it? Whatever is there is known through sense organs. And whatever is not there, or whatever is not known through sense organs, it is not there. He says they might interpret this mantra in that way. Avijñātaṃ vijānatāṃ. So they might understand Brahman as non-existent. And vijñātaṃ avijānatāṃ. Whatever is known, it is only known through sense organs. If it is not known through sense organs, that thing is not there. Like this, somebody might take nature of Brahman to be non-existent. Tad vijñātaṃ pramānaihi yad asti. Whatever is there, that is known through pramana. Yan nasti tat avijñātaṃ. Whatever is not known, that thing is not there. Means not known through sense organs, that thing is not there. Shashavishāna kalpam. Shashavishāna kalpam means like rabbit's horns. You don't see it with your physical eyes, means that thing is not there. You can put it other way also. Whatever thing is not there, that thing is not seen through physical eyes. So in that category of Asat, they have included Brahman also. In that category of Asat, they have included Brahman. Atyantam eva asat drushtam. They think that Brahman is completely non-existent. Tathedam brahma avijñātatvad asadeveti mandabuddhīnām vyamohaha ma bhutiti. With this kind of understanding, they should not apply the same understanding to Brahman also and think that Brahman is asadeva. It is non-existent, it is not even there. Means imagine, before coming to Vedanta, if somebody told us about some entity which is not seen through physical eyes, not seen through any sense organs, this doubt would be there, whether such an entity exists or not. Whether this thing is really there or not, or is it some kind of void? This is the question that most of the students in Vedanta will ask in many texts. Even in Viveka Chudamani, after the teacher tells Panchakosha Viveka, he says, let go of your physical sheath, let go of pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, anandamaya. Then his question is, what remains? Is it some kind of void? Or is it a positive existence? So to remove this kind of misconception, that Brahman is Asat Vastu, Bhagavan says this Akhyayika has come. Tadartheyam Akhyayika Arabhyate. Now the question becomes, how are you connecting both? Akhyayika was about Bhagavan taking avatar, doing all this, teaching the message to the Devatas. Haimavati Uma coming and teaching message. How did you connect that to Brahman being Sat and Asat? He says, I knew it. That's why I need more elaboration. Then he explains that part. Shall I just read and explain instead of read and repeat? This is a longer Bhasya. Tadeva hi Brahma sarva prakarana prashastru. That same Brahman, which is avijñātaṃ vijānatāṃ, vijñātamavijānatāmn. That same Brahma which is Nirguna, along with Upadhi, it becomes Saguna. They are not two different Brahmans. One is Nirguna Brahman, another is Saguna Brahman. Which one do you believe in? The whole part was to remove this idea that it is only one appearing as two. But what happens is, the avatara name is very well known. You know, Saguna Brahma means Bhagavan Krishna. Saguna Brahma is Bhagavan Rama. The avatara name is well known, but the essential nature of that avatar is the meaning of that mantra, avijñātaṃ vijānatāṃ. Vijñātaṃ avijñātaṃ. Ishvara Siddhi Prakaranam, this part was elaborated. How essential nature of Bhagavan is Shuddha Chaitanya. So now Bhagavan, I'll give a gist of this whole Bhashya. What Bhagavan is saying here is, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, if you just look at creation and then look at the role of creator, role of Bhagavan, Saguna Brahma, it's a wonder if somebody says that Brahman is Asat. Means you are seeing the world as Sat. You are seeing so many things happening which need a ruler. And then you say the essential nature of that ruler is Asat. Bhagavan says, how is that possible? To explain this point, this Akhyayika has come. To explain that Brahma cannot be Asat. Because as Saguna Rupa, you are seeing so many things which are happening. The essential nature of that Saguna Brahma cannot be Asat Vastu. Tadeva hi Brahma. It is not some other Brahma. It is the same Brahman which is Nirguna. Sarva Prakarana Prashastru. It is a ruler in all ways. Now remember, no switch has happened between Nirguna to Saguna. Nirguna Brahma is not Prashastru. Nirguna Brahma is only Drashta. Along with conditioning, it becomes Prashastru. Devanam api paro devaha. Bhagavan is supreme most amongst all Devatas. Bhagavad Gita also Bhagavan says, any blessing that a Devata gives, really speaking, it comes from me only. But if our attention is only on Devata, Bhagavan says, so be it. I will increase your Shraddha through that Devata. But if you want, you can come directly to me. Devata doesn't have independent power. Bhagavan says, supreme most power is with Ishvara. That is Devanam api paro devaha. Ishvaranam api parameshvaraha. How will you interpret this? Ishvaranam api parameshvaraha. Means those Devatas are rulers in their own area. Their own department, they are the rulers. Like how you have secretaries and you have the president. Like that, Bhagavan is Ishvaranam api parameshvaraha. Supreme most ruler amongst them. Durvigneya. Very difficult to know. In his Saguna form also he is difficult. Nirguna form is easier than the Saguna form. Goswamiji says in Ramcharitmanas, viruddha dharma ashrayatvat. Means whenever he takes Saguna form, it is so difficult to understand what is he exactly. If you take Bhagavan Krishna, you say, what is the purpose of Bhagavan's avatar? Is it for dharma? Is it for teaching? Or is it for doing something else? What is his main purpose? It's indescribable. Another meaning of durvigneya is how Nirguna becomes Saguna. That is durvigneya. We should not try to analyze it too much. Just accept it as something which is beyond explanation. Our Vedanta khyati is anirvachaniya khyati. Anirvachaniyata is not running away from some thinking. It's a conclusion arrived at after thinking. There are some things which you cannot describe, you cannot elaborate. You say, I know many people who are anirvachaniya. You cannot describe why they are this way, how they are this way. Similar. Just accept that is the best way. Devanam jaya hetu. One who is the reason for victory of Devatas. And asuranam parajaya hetu. One who ensured that asuras are not victorious. Tat katham nasti iti. How do you say such Brahman is not there? Remember, we should not say, oh, all this was Saguna Brahma. And your question was about Nirguna Brahma. Bhagavan says that's exactly the point. Did you notice that? In the previous verse, the mantra referred to avijñātaṃ vijānatāṃ, which is talking about Nirguna Brahma. Bhagavan here mentioned about nature of Saguna Brahma. And his conclusion is, Tat katham nasti iti. How come you say Brahman is not there? When that same Brahma appeared as Saguna, looking at Saguna, we should get conviction that Brahman is Sat swaroopa. It cannot be Asat, it cannot be void. Void cannot take avatar. Void cannot do all leelas. Void also cannot give ananda. Whatever is there, that only you will give. Because it is Sat swaroopa, avatar is also Sat. Chit swaroopa, avatar is Chit. Ananda swaroopa, avatar is filled with ananda. That is our chant, right? Krishnashtami day. Nanda ke ghar ananda bhayo. We don't say Nanda ke ghar Krishna bhayo. Bhagavan Krishna means Ananda. Nanda ke ghar Ananda bhayo. Jai Kanhaiya Lal ki. Kanhaiya Lal is his avatar, but nature is Ananda. When you see Saguna in this way, Bhagavan says, how are you questioning existence of Brahman? This is a new insight. We might not have seen this before. How to establish Sat Swarupa of Brahman. Etasya arthasya anukulani hi uttarani vachamsi drishyante. The further mantras which are there, it is as though to elaborate this point, it is being presented. Bhagavan Shankaracharya is seeing these points in that simple looking story that we just saw. There are two main points here. First one is not to take Bhagavan as one person. The moment we take Bhagavan as a person, his Mahatmya Bodha is lost. Mahatmya Bodha means even as Saguna, what powers he has. All these things which are mentioned, right? Prashastru, Ishwaranam api Parameshwaraha, Devanam Jaya Hetuhu. These facets will be lost the moment we think Bhagavan is another person. Second is, knowing the cause is one part of our knowledge. Looking at the effect, we should not lose sight of the cause. Looking at the effect, we should not lose sight of the cause. Means looking at avatar, one should not lose sight of Shuddha Chaitanya as the seed of that avatar. We had seen this example once about goldsmith's son. The goldsmith, he asked his son to go inside and get gold. He goes inside and comes out. He says, Father, there is no gold. He said, what do you mean there is no gold? Last night only I kept it. Both of them go to check. And he says, what is this? There is gold over here. Father tells his son. His father, this is only a necklace. It is not gold. Now this is other way. Looking at the effect, he is losing sight of the cause. Means in his mind, gold means what? Has to be bars only. That is called as Jnanam and Vijnana. Jnanam is to know cause as cause, effect as effect. Clarity about cause, clarity about effect. And also probably to know that this effect has come from the cause. But what happens is, in spite of doing this inquiry, when we see the effect, cause is lost. If we are able to see the cause without that cause apparently being there, with the effect only being there in front of me, if I can shift attention to cause, that is called as Vijnana. 7th chapter, this is the essence, Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Means Bhagavan says, first you did thorough analysis in Vedanta, right? You said this is consciousness. From consciousness alone, creation has come. Then when we interact with creation, if you are able to shift attention to consciousness, that is Vijnana. Generally, we translate as knowledge and wisdom. Jnanam is knowledge, Vijnanam is wisdom. But what is wisdom? Looking at effect, getting clarity about cause. Two things were mentioned here. Now Bhagavan is giving more reasons why this story has come. Let me just skim through it, because most of it we have seen before. Athava Brahma Vidyayaha Sutaye Katham Brahma Vijnanathi Ajñādayaha Devaha Devanam Shreshtatvam Jagmuhu Tata Api Atitaram Indra Iti. Devatas got lot of power, lot of position. They had lot of accomplishments to their name. That's why we saw whatever Agni Devata said, whatever Vayu Devata said, nothing was out of place. They can actually do that. But in spite of getting all these accomplishments, Bhagavan says that true greatness is not without Brahma Vidya. True greatness is only when they have Brahma Vidya. That is what made them great. In particular, Indra Bhagavan excelled in this Brahma Vidya because of qualities that he had, everything that he knew, personality that he had made. Not quickly disappointed, not quickly dejected. Otherwise, it was a great insult. Agni Devata and Vayu Devata, at least Bhagavan spoke. Indra Bhagavan, Bhagavan did not even speak. But he stayed there and he persevered throughout that teaching. That is what made him great. So for Brahma Vidya Stuti, this Akhyayika has come. The story has come to praise the importance of Brahma Vidya. Even somebody like Indra, Bhagavan, becomes great only with this knowledge. Then the last one is durvigneyam brahma iti etat pradarshate. Yena agnyādayaha ati tejasopi kleshena eva brahma viditavantaha. Tatha indraha devanam ishvara api sanniti. Agni Devata, Indra Bhagavan, who are so great and accomplished, even they had to go through a lot of klesha. Even they had to go through a lot of challenges before they could really gain this knowledge. So how careful all of us have to be. Brahman is that knowledge, Brahma Vidya is that knowledge which is very, very subtle. One should never take it lightly. Means whatever is our estimation about the challenge ahead, we are well prepared for it. When you go to Krishnalaya, they have a sign, right? Windy roads ahead. Now, windy road is windy road. You can't help it. But all you can do is slow down, be more careful. Whenever durvigneyatva is pointed out, this is the main thing. Means even after lot of adhyanam, we might feel we have gotten it. But this ahankara is safely sitting inside. Ahankara is safely protected inside. That is this durvigneyata. All other knowledge, it was okay to keep ahankara safely inside and study something outside. But Brahma Vidya is that only knowledge where the first target is ahankara. First target is individuality, because what they really want is samsara nivrutti. They don't want us to stay with another knowledge in addition to what other knowledge that we have. So he says that is this Brahma Vidya. It is very subtle. To explain the subtlety of it, to explain the challenges that might be there, this Akhyayika has come. Fourth one, Bhagavan says, although they say in Vedanta, Jnane naivatu kaivalyam, knowledge alone is sufficient for moksha. There is a fine print down there. Conditions apply. What is that? Those who have devotion in their heart, those who have done Saguna Upasana, for them, Jnana alone will give moksha. So he says the remaining mantras are for Vakshamana Upanishad Vidiparam Va Sarvam. It is for Upasana. If we miss the point about the importance of Upasana, importance of devotion, Bhagavan says that has to be highlighted again. Vidyananda Swamiji calls it as Krutopasti and Akrutopasti. Krutopasti means one who has done his Purvashrama very well, lived a very disciplined life, and has done all the subtleties to expand his mind. So world is never a problem for him. World is never a concern for him. That is Krutopasti. Krutopasti only doesn't mean he knows to chant many things, he knows many things memorized. Upasana Siddhanta is that where he sees himself, or he sees entire creation in himself, or this Bhagavan as his, or this creation as his Bhagavan. Whenever Bhagavan talks about Vibhuti Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, that is the main essence. To see entire creation as Bhagavan is difficult. So Bhagavan says, at least in those sattvic things, in Himalayas, in Gangaji, in Vedas, in that you see me. That is Upasana. In one thing, we are superimposing some other idea. So in that way, Bhagavan says, this later part of this mantra is to emphasize. Although previously it was said, Nedam Yadidam Upasate. If challenges are coming on the spiritual path, most often it is not because of Vedanta. Most often the challenge is not because, oh, this darshana is not appealing to me, I have to go to some other darshana. How come there are only 3 states of experiences? Or how did you describe nature of Atma as Nirguna, infinite? All those doubts can be resolved. Most challenges that come on the spiritual path are related to mind. And he says, those challenges will be addressed very well through Saguna Upasana. That is why this Akhyayika has come. Keep your Abhimana down. Let Bhagavan be the ruler. Don't try to run his creation. He can do it much better than any jiva. One of our Swamiji said this, every other day somebody would come and tell him, Swamiji, you should do this, you should do that, this and that. And Swamiji was very clear in his thinking. He said, भैया ये दुनिया भगवान की है, जिसकी है वो उसको संभाल रहे हैं, जिसकी है वो देख रहे हैं. मुझे अपना भजन करने दीजिए, आपको चाहिए तो आप भी आ जाइए. Means he said, this creation belongs to the Lord and he runs it very well. If at all you want to contribute something, become his devotee. And really speaking, a devotee is the one who has really positively contributed to the world. You see any saint's life, without speaking anything about Loka Sangraha, without speaking anything about bringing about a change in the world, any positive change that has come, root of that is in some value. That value is in a devotee. These are different facets which we can reflect more. Brahma vidya vyatirekena praninam kartrutva bhoktruttvati abhimana. Without this Brahma vidya, in pranis, means in all jivas, there is this abhimana of kartrutva and bhoktrutva. You know, this is a very powerful statement. Other than Brahma vidya, no matter what we study, no matter which sadhana we do, doership and enjoyership will not be removed. The corollary of that is, as long as kartrutva and bhoktrutva is there, samsara is there. We should have Purva Paksha on this, but I will not raise any of that here. We should reflect more upon it. Because there are so many other ways we might think there is moksha. So many other ideas might be there of what is liberation and how to be free from samsara. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Brahma vidya vyatirekena praninam kartrutva bhoktruttvati abhimana mithya iti. This abhimana that I am karta, I am bhokta, that itself is a false abhimana. On top of that, we want to be better karta. You know, on top of it, we want to be better bhokta. This is really speaking, that is not our true nature. Etad darshanartham va akhyayika. This akhyayika has come to show this point, that abhimana of kartrutva and bhoktrutva is mithya. Yatha devanam jayadi abhimanaha tadvat iti. Just like all this Devatas had abhimana, that we accomplished this, we got this victory. Mana word we have seen before. Mana means to measure. Pramana, when we saw that word, measuring something very well is called pramana, measuring something correctly. But mana when it applies to abhimana, so it is measuring ourselves with respect to something else. Actually speaking, any praise the world can give us, it is actually another bondage. Because world will always praise in connection with some kind of upadhi. Right? If somebody says, you are such a good singer. Now that singer is which indriya? Vagendriya. Such a good dancer, such a good speaker. All of them are adhyasa. So in the mind of a seeker, this thought is very well ingrained. That true praise can come only from Upanishads. True praise means true understanding of who we are, true appreciation of who we are. That is only from Upanishad, which is our nature as Shuddha Chaitanya. Anything other than that, you add a layer, that mana will become abhimana. If we make that mana very low, if we ourselves make it low, it becomes humility. Somebody else makes it low, that mana becomes apamana. Mana, we ourselves make it high. What does it become? Abhimana, pride. If somebody else makes it high, it becomes sammana. Sammana means some kind of recognition or something. It is said a seeker should have vairagya from everything. Neither does he want to go down, nor does he want to go up. He says going up and down is part of this ahankara. But although Goswamiji says for a trouble-free vyavahara, Goswamiji's solution or perspective is we can go as low as we can in our ahankara. You should not leave sentences half. As low as we can means in our abhimana, we can go. The lower we go, happier we'll be. That's what Goswamiji says. You see in the Mangalacharanam also of Hanuman Chalisa, Buddhihina tanu janike, sumira upavana kumar. In the beginning, he is calling himself Buddhihina. And if you see in Ramcharitmanas introduction, all Chaupai is the first Vandana Prakanam is that remove this Abhimana, make it as small as you can without becoming weak. Goswamiji says we'll be happy. So to show that point of how futile is this Abhimana, this Akhyayika has come. For a long time, we have not seen mantra and bhashya together. Ishvara Siddhi Prakanam was going on. So now we'll again get back to this 3.1. Brahmaha devebhyo vijigye tasyaha brahmano vijaye deva amahiyanta ta aikshanta asmakam eva ayam vijayah asmakam eva ayam mahimeti asmakam eva ayam mahimeti. So while chanting, we generally don't split sandhis, but for the ease of reading, it is split over here. Now, this is an elaboration of what we saw earlier in that mantra. Now, this, whenever it comes in this font, it is Mula mantra. You see, Brahma word, how Bhagavan is elaborating. Brahma, yatokta lakshanam param. Whatever is indicated before in that entire Ishvara Siddhi Prakaranam. Or you say in that previous chapter of Upanishad mantra, avijñātaṃ vijānatāṃ. That same Brahman, yatokta lakshanam paramha kila devebhya arthaya vijigye. For the sake of Devatas, he got victory. Devebhya arthaya vijigye jayam labdhavat. Devanam asuranam cha sangrame asuran jitva. Means Bhagavan takes sides. He took side of Devatas. He ensured that they win. If you just look at him superficially, it looks like he is a silent observer or he is only an advisor. That is why Duryodhana made a mistake. Bhagavan Krishna asked him, whom do you want? Do you want my army or do you want me? And Duryodhana thought Bhagavan is only going to give advice. What is the point of having Bhagavan on my side? He said, I want the army. But Arjuna had this idea very clear. If Bhagavan is there on your side, he will ensure that you win. As long as it is Daivi Vritti. Daivi Vritti means our goal is divine, our goal is noble. If goal inside is not divine, if there is some deceit involved, some adharma involved, Bhagavan can take other avatara also. He will make sure that this asuri vritti which is there, it does not win. That is the first nature of Bhagavan. Jayam labdhavat devanam asuranam cha sangrame asuran jitva. In that battle between asuras and devatas, he made sure that asuras are won over. Now you see in sadhana, there are so many things we try to win over. Even if we win sometimes, we should not make the mistake of taking credit for it. Bhagavan says the one who will really win it is me only. See, Deva Asura Sangrama, one happens outside. You see good and the bad fighting in the world. Deva Asura Sangrama happened at some time. Samudra Manthanam happened, battle keeps happening. But right now also, Deva Asura Sangrama happens inside. There also all these pointers will apply. Any change that you want to bring in our life. Nobody can say our sadhana is perfect. That there is nothing more that I'm trying to change. Puja Guruji would say, contentment should come for worldly objects. Sometimes we have contentment towards sadhana. Whatever is there is good. I'm not seeking anything more. He says there, if you want to bring any change, the one who will really remove these asuri thoughts is Bhagavan. It is Krupa Sadhya, not Purushartha Sadhya only. Nirata Nirantara Sajjana Dharma. One of the Navadha Bhakti is that. The sadhaka is constantly trying to live a divine life, constantly striving to become better himself. Very quickly he realizes he cannot do it on his own. No matter how many steps he takes forward, mind is so powerful, it can push back. Then he comes here, he says, Bhagavan, I've heard that you got victory for Devatas. May your grace be there upon us also. Now, introduction is given to Asuras. Who are Asuras? Jagad Aratin. Arati means enemy. This is not enemy of one or two people. This is enemy of Jagat. Enemy of this whole world. Any Asuri Vritti is like that. And you see major problems which are coming in the world, Gurudev would ask, who is causing them? Is it the animals who are there, in the safari that you go to? Is it the penguins in the Antarctic that are causing any of these things? He says, no, it is human beings only. Asuri Vritti in human beings. That is Jagat Aratin. Another way of looking at Asura is one who always puts himself ahead of Samashti. That is the root of Asuri thought. One who puts Vyashti above Samashti. And Gurudev has given another talk in United Nations, Planet in Crisis. It's a 1-hour talk, but I think the snippet is available online, 10-minute talk. Such a beautiful connection of problems related to avidya, to overall problems in society. Main point he points out is this one. He says, Abhimana, when it is there is no limit to which a person can go. Means if you are self-centered, there is no limit to which this person can go. He says, appreciate the contribution of spiritual knowledge. At what level it is working and at what level we need to see the results. I just remembered that because of the word Jagat Aratin. In these Asuric thoughts are not enemy of few people, it can become enemy of the whole world. Or the Jagat in which we live. Family is our Jagat. One Asuri thought is there that can create this. Ishvara Setuhu Bhetrun. For Bhagavan, for Jiva to meet Bhagavan, how will he meet? There is such a big samsara, sagara, ocean is there. It is said Bhagavan has built a bridge. Setu means bridge. For Jiva to meet Ishvara, there is a bridge which is built. That bridge is a bridge of Varnashrama Dharma. Whatever is our stage in life, whatever is our duty in life, if you follow it sincerely, Bhagavan says you will meet me one day. But what happens is when we start walking, we feel very anxious. We don't see the result right away. We don't see where we are headed. The goal also doesn't seem to be in sight. So Bhagavan says the one who is going to protect us on that bridge, that is Bhagavan. If somebody wants to take a shortcut, somebody wants to do adharma and get their results right away, that is this quality. Ishvara setu bhetrin. Bhetrin means one who is destroying the bridge. One way is follow the rules, follow dharma and reach your goal. Another is shortcut. So these are all adjectives for asuras. Jagat aratin is first adjective. Second one is Ishvara setuhu bhetrin. We had seen this in our camp, Vishnu Sahasranama, that verse comes. Achara prabhavo dharmaha dharmasya prabhurachyutaha. Dharma comes through conduct. Acharaha prabhavo dharma. Dharma grows through conduct. But whenever we start doing the right conduct, there is a question that comes in our mind. How will we reach our goal? If somebody says you have to control your desire, control anger, control greed, but you see in today's world it doesn't work. There the thought should be dharmasya prabhurachyutaha. The one who is going to protect dharmic qualities is Bhagavan. Don't fear to walk on the path of dharma. That is the strength actually of a dharmic person. Strength is not his own strength. He says Bhagavan has promised if that sadhaka does or lives his life in accordance with values, to protect him is Bhagavan's responsibility. That is this word, Ishvara setu bhetrin. Those who are breaking this, they are asuras. Devibhya jayam tat phalam cha prayachat. Bhagavan took or accomplished this victory and gave the victory to Devatas. Also gave the result of that victory. All the kingdom was brought back. Indra Bhagavan became the king. Everything he gave. Jagatah sthemne. Now remember, why did Bhagavan take side of Devatas? Because he also thinks about the world. Now Devatas are not only indulgent people. Devatas are dharmic people. They are doing the right actions, but they have Abhimana. Asuras have Abhimana and do wrong things. Devatas have Abhimana and do good things. Satkarmi, but with Abhimana. So Bhagavan says, if they have done Satkarma, if they are walking on the path of Dharma, it is my responsibility to protect them. Tasyaha kila brahmana vijaye devaha agnyādayaha amahiyanta mahimanam praptavantaha. In the victory of Bhagavan, all other devatas, they rejoiced. Agnyādayaha amahiyanta. These are just, you don't have to write this. When you look at this slide, if at all you do, then you can just see the summary points. But what happened is, Devatas forgot the presence of Bhagavan. And they're playing the Leela of a Jiva. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, Maya hatan tvam jahi. Means Arjuna, don't think that if you are not there, this war is not going to happen. If you are not there, the result that is going to come will not come. Don't think in that way. Maya hatan, I've already accomplished it. And Bhagavan, what should I do? Bhagavan says, you take the credit. You love to take credit, right? This is what you do. Real work I will do. Real work I will do. That is Bhagavan's message there. Tada atma samstasya pratyagatmana ishvarasya sarvajnasya sarvakriyaphalas sanyojayituhu praninam sarvashaktehe. All these are indicators of Bhagavan. This is at that time. Now see, if you want to split this Sanskrit statement in smaller pieces, right? You just have to look at this part. Jayaha mahima cha iti ajanantaha. Ayam jayaha mahima cha iti ajanantaha. They did not know the mahima of Bhagavan. Who is that Bhagavan? Atma samstasya pratyagatmana. Now it will open up more. introduction to Bhagavan, that he is ever seated in our own heart. He is Antaryami, he is Pratyagatma. Ishwarasya, all-powerful ruler. Sarvajna, all-knowing. All-knowing he is. Sarva kriya phala sanyojayitu. He knows precisely which karma phala should go to which jiva, the one who brings both of it together. Sarva kriya phala sanyojayitu, not only kriya done in this life, kriya done in past lives also. That is Bhagavan, Praninam Sarva Shaktehe, one who is most powerful amongst all. Jagataha Sthitim Chikirshoho. Means Bhagavan also thinks about the well-being of this creation. It is his responsibility to run this creation in the way that it should. Sthane Rishikesha Tava Prakirtya. Puja Guruji had asked us once, which is your favorite verse in Bhagavad Gita? I mean, some question he would give, and then everybody Guruji would ask. All of us said different verses. Final one that Guruji mentioned, he said is said by Arjuna. And that was this verse, Sthane Rishikesha Tava Prakirtya. Means culmination of all our sadhana, culmination of all our devotion should be in this understanding. That Bhagavan, whatever is happening, it is in the right place. Sthane Rishikesha Tava Prakirtya, by your grace. By your grace. No questions, no doubts. Because Bhagavan is Jagataha Sthitim Chikirshoho. He is also thinking about his creation. Ayam Jaya Mahima Chaiti Ajanataha Te Devaha Aikshanta. Not knowing this, these Devatas started thinking. Ikshitavantaha. Aikshanta means Ikshitavantaha. They started thinking. Introduction is given of Devatas. Ajñādi swaroopa parichinna. Those who are conditioned by the upadhi of Agni. Means whatever abilities they have, that ability has, how you say, right, gone into their head. They have become so proud of that ability. It says that Ajñādi swaroopa parichinna. Atma krutaha. Atma kruta means, closest translation is self-made man. Means I have accomplished this on my own strength. There is nobody else whom I need. Atma krutaha. What does it say? Asmakam eva ayam vijayaha, asmakam eva ayam mahima iti. This victory belongs to us. This mahima also belongs to us. See, the one who got victory was Bhagavan. One whose mahima was there was Bhagavan. Both they forgot. You see, this forgetfulness of the Lord is the greatest difficulty. Abhimana which comes, Hanumanji says, challenge outside is not a challenge. Forgetting this fact that you are taking care of that challenge is the problem. Jabataba sumirana bhajanana hoi. Soi Hanumanta Bipati Prabhu soi. Bipati means difficulty or challenge. Hanumanji says, if challenge comes, that is okay. But if I think I am the one who is going to face it, that is the major slip. Asmakam eva mahima agni vayu indratwadi lakshanaha jaya phalu bhutaha asmabhihi anubhuyate na asmat pratyagatma bhuta ishvara krute iti. Indra Bhagwan, all this Indra, Vayu and Agni, whatever they have attained, they started feeling this jaya phala which is there, asmabhihi anubhuyate, whatever is experienced by us, it is accomplished by us only. Pratyagatma bhushara ishvara krute na iti. It is not given to us by Bhagavan. This was the pride that was there in their heart. We'll pause here. The next mantra also has a beautiful Bhasya. How does Bhagavan take avatar? How does he see thoughts of a jiva? More elaboration will continue when we meet after our 3-week break. Okay. So we have uploaded all the talks, Kenopanishad talks. This one also will be uploaded. Our Sridharji and team, they do a lot of background work, coming up with titles, subtitles, description, and everything. So we can go back and revise wherever we have to. It's also nice to read Bhasya. If you can do it with this slide, it's easier. If you do it with book also, that's fine. You'll see all the ideas are coming alive. You know, one of our Swamiji would say, Mahatmas, they remain intoxicated in Bhasya. रामायण भाष्य का गुटखा लिए फिरते हैं बोलते हैं. Means you take one intoxicant by which any clarity that we seek or we are seeking, that is attained. Whatever is bothering us, whatever is a point where we are seeking perspective, that we will find in Bhasya. That was the whole reason why we went so much in detail with every word. So this 3-week break, we can be inspired to do that. Vedanta Sara also we will not have for the next 3 weeks. We'll meet after. We'll generally follow our Balvihar schedule. Okay, so if I missed mentioning in Vedanta Sara, please note, we will not have Vedanta Sara classes. Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 and Manisha Panchakam will also be uploaded on YouTube. So those who missed can also take a look at both of these. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.